Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's so nice to see some people in the room I haven't seen in a really long time. It's so much fun. Please stand as you are able. Folks at home, I haven't seen you in a long time either. Come on in the room. Come on in and sing with us. This is a song you already know by Chris Tomlin. I will sing it through first for those of you that are brand new and are just learning it for the first time. But it's super easy. It's got two parts. First part goes like this. Forever God is faithful. Forever God is strong. Forever God is with us. Forever, forever, forever God is faithful and strong. Forever God is strong. Forever God is with us. Forever, forever. Let's clap on it. Forever God is faithful and strong. Forever God is strong. Forever God is with us. Forever, forever. Second part. Sing praise. Sing praise. Try that. Sing praise. Sing praise. Harmonize if you like. Sing praise. Sing praise. Sing praise. Sing praise. Forever God is faithful, strong. Forever God is strong. Forever God is with us. Forever, forever faithful. God is faithful and strong. Forever God is strong and with us. Forever, forever, forever. Let's pray on that.
And so we join together as we know the truth of our opening statement. So join me. There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence.
And we'll start with that sing praise part. And you'll notice that your chairs are a little different this morning. Yeah, because it's not really, I mean, it fits with unity so well, too, because unity is not about, like, there's God over there. Unity is about, oh, it's the God within and with each other. So today the chairs are are pointed to each other so we can kind of take that in a little bit more. And for this sing praise part, you're literally, this is the old, like the 90s Chris Tomlin version of like praise to God, praise and worship, P&W music, right? But we're using it right now to praise each other. So in this moment where we sing praise and sing praise, target somebody, and somebody's gonna be targeting you, and it's gonna be embarrassing, right? It's gonna be like, no, you're holy, but I'm not, because I know me, right? I can imagine the God in you, but I have to, like, I cannot accept this praise that you give me. It's just a song. Go ahead and accept it. So we're gonna sing praise, sing praise. Take it in and give it out at the same time. Here we go. Sing praise, 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 forever God is strong, forever God is with us, forever, forever faithful, God is faithful, forever God is strong, forever God is with us, forever, forever, forever. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, both in-house and at home. And yes, we mixed up the room because we can do that in this new building. We're not stuck with the chairs being the same every Sunday. And I do get that this is probably an introvert's nightmare as well. But we're here to stretch, and so we're going to talk to each other a little bit this morning. Another introvert's nightmare, but hey. So let's join together in our vision statement this morning. We are an accessible and inclusive spiritual sanctuary for all ages and stages of life. We offer spiritual practices and a community that honors diversity and encourages self-empowerment. We co-create a world that works for all. Can I get an amen? All right, we have a couple of announcements, and one is that on July 15th, we're going to have our first open mic night. It's hosted by Rose Ram, and the theme is home. So if you have a story, a song, a joke, we need you to register with Rose so that we can have volunteers. This is going to be a totally congregant-led community experience. So you can find that on the website. Also on July 12th, I'm going to be leading a house blessing, which means I'm going to teach you how to bless your house and just to clear the space. So if you've had an illness or a death in your home and you want to clear that energy, we're going to be working with the elements, with fire, earth, air, and water to clear that space, and I'll show you how to do that so you can do it at home yourself. And now we have a video from Faith Ireland.
I'm Faith Ireland, and I've been coming to Seattle Unity since I was 17 years old in 1960. I appreciated Seattle Unity a lot because it gave me courage. And I was told in the 8th grade that I wasn't college material. So I had not been on a college path in high school because they told me to take shorthand, which I hated. So Seattle Unity helped me have the courage to go on to the University of Washington, to graduate from the University of Washington, and to apply to be a law school student, even at a time when girls couldn't be lawyers. So I applied to law school. I got admitted to law school. I graduated one of 2 women in my class in law school. And Seattle Unity has been there for me in every step along the line. I think today, in a very different environment, We have so many stressors in our life. Although our life has become enormously benefited by technology, it has become a bit of a burden to us in many ways, and people are expected to do so much. I think fortunately today's young people are insisting on regaining that balance between their work life and their physicality, what they do, and it's also helpful for them to have a place like Seattle Unity where they can engage their spirituality.
And what Faith didn't share is she went on to become a judge and a local Supreme Court justice as well. She left that out. So all that said is in support of our stewardship program that we're currently running, you'll find cards by the prayer box and downstairs. Also, you can find it on our website, so especially for those of you at home as well. And for those of you at home, please type in your prayer requests and where you're watching from so we can acknowledge you at the end of the service. So here's the website, donations and giving, so you can go to that and you can fill out a card. And we've already gotten many in, and we're grateful for your support, but it's also what keeps our ministry thriving and healthy and keeps it going for future generations, which is, you know, part of the reason that we built this. All right, so that said, let's all stand and greet one another.
Stay standing as you are able. This is one that is new to you. I think we did it once here like 15 years ago. It's by Daniel Nahmod, and there's a lot of lyric to this, but don't be intimidated. It'll come to you. And as always, if you can't sing or don't know what you're supposed to sing, you just dance harder. The lyric is, I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. And then he says, forever is already mine. And that's a really unity idea too. Forever is already mine. And the second part says, I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. And that it's a lot of lyric, but it comes very intuitively because Daniel's a great writer. It goes like this. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. A little faster. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Yes, forever is already mine. Forever is already mine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. Good. I'm reaching out to song, I want you to jump in and try and see the lyric on someone else's face, right? So it's, I'm reaching out, and you're watching them, and they're saying to feel, and you're like, to feel? Wow, good. But really use your eyes and your connection to other people, because that is the infinite. When I'm reaching out to you, Paul, you are the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. 2, 3. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Why? Forever is already mine. Yes, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. Now he's got a verse that says, I'm going deep. And so we have the reaching out that we do in Unity, but Unity also takes time to go deep within. So for this one, we're going to be sort of quiet and kind of still. And if you want to even close your eyes for this one, like this. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. Try it. I'm going deep to know the divine. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. Forever, forever is already mine. And we lift it up. Forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. Good. Let's do one more. Let's call this I'm rising up. And again, we're doing this like physicality, which is just so good for your spirituality, because if you get your body moving, your brain opens up like a flower. It's incredible. So we're going to say, I'm rising up to feel the infinite. 1, 2. I'm rising up, yeah, to feel the infinite. I'm rising up, know the divine. I'm rising up, oh, to feel the infinite. Already, forever is already mine. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in the eternal soul. Well done. Many days we have a reading that comes here. We don't have a reading today. We're going to move right into a slower chant that will ramp us into a meditation. And because of Karen's topic today, we're going to use our regular Om Shanti Om chant, only we're changing it to home. I am home. If you've been oming for any part of your life, you've been subbing home in there sometimes too, or I don't know, home, I am home. Any of these chants that you use, I encourage you to personalize them for, it's not someone else's song, it's your song, it's your chant. And Leslie is gonna start us out. We learned this morning that Leslie's a preacher's kid. And if any of you know what it means to be a preacher's kid, it's a big deal to come out of one denomination and into another. So I'm thrilled to have her with us.
tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling, oh children, come home. Oh, for the wonderful love that is promised, promised to you and to me, calling us home to the love of the Spirit, calling to you and to me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling, oh children, come home.
Stephanie Ann Johnson.
Good morning again. So this year our theme is the cycle of life. And so this month we're moving into home, and I feel is our key word. So just FYI, this is going to be a little bit of an interactive service, hence the room got shifted. And so if you're at home, you might want to talk amongst the people that are in your house and or maybe journal when a question comes up. So ideally, home is a place where you can be restored and nurtured. It is a place where you can feel secure so that you can branch out and you can become involved in life and be refreshed and renewed so you can work and become involved in your community. So when you have this, it gives you a strong foundation from which you can engage in the rest of the world. But if your home is chaotic, or if you're without a home, your psychological foundation is shaky and it is more difficult to engage in the world, isn't it? Or if you move a lot, you can find, especially when you first move, like, I don't know where the grocery store is. I don't know where different things are. And so there's this, or going to a new town, it's like being discombobulated for a while. So in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy spends all of her time trying to get home. And on her journey, she meets challenges and she finds allies in the form of the Scarecrow, the Lion, the Tin Men, who are seeking intelligence, love, and courage. And yet they discover that everything that they're looking for is already inside of them. Dorothy discovers that she's had the power to go home whenever she wanted to, because she had her red slippers. And this is symbolic of the fact that no matter where we are geographically, that home is always within us. Last week, Eric Odell talked about the idea that the soul is home. And if we're not in alignment with our soul, it doesn't matter where we are, we'll not feel at home. So this weekend is July 4th. It is a celebration of our home, the United States, so it's a time for rest, for picnics, for fireworks. And I have mixed feelings about fireworks because I love fireworks. I love watching them. However, my dog is terrified of them. And I know Diane's dog is so terrified, he hides in the bathtub for like days. So I'm actually considering maybe I should drive to Canada for the holiday just to save my dog from the fire. That's how much I love my dog. All right, I know it sounds a little crazy. So the United States is our home, whether we are born here or whether we have immigrated here. And like any country, and just like our homes, we have positive and negatives about it. We have the freedom to speak our minds and to worship or not worship in the religion of our choosing. And I think one of the things that defines the American spirit is this independence and this tendency to break the rules and just try new things. So it's not a surprise then that, the inventions that have come from here are, the automobile, the light bulb, the computer. And I think, too, that, movies are probably one of our biggest exports. And so I wonder what that culturally does to the rest of the world. I was on a train in Madrid in Spain, and they were showing a movie, and it was School of Rock. And I was like, that's funny to see Jack Black speaking Spanish, and, But I'm sure many of you who have traveled, if you turn the TV on or something, there's always something from the United States that's on there. And when I traveled in Europe, I was touched by the history and the living connection that people have with the past. And that's something that we really don't have here. And except for the First Peoples, Americans have their roots somewhere else, right? And the only way some of us even know where our ancestors originated is through DNA or sites like, Ancestry or 23andMe. I know at the end of my grandfather's life, he moved in with us, and I was in my 20s, and I finally got around to being curious about our heritage and where we came from. So I'm like, oh, good, my grandfather's living with us. I can ask him all kinds of questions. So I said, hey, Grandpa, where are we from in Denmark? And he goes, gee, kid, I don't remember. I'm like, but when did we emigrate here? He goes, gee, kid, I don't remember. And I thought, well, I lost that chance right there. Thich Nhat Hanh said that if you were born and raised in the United States, you should not let the American culture imprison you. Try to learn about the country of your parents and your ancestors. This will help you develop good communication with your parents and your ancestors. Otherwise, you may be cut off from the cultural stream that is one of your deepest roots. And I think that's why the ancestry and all that is so popular right now, because there's a part of us that is seeking, and we can find it out now, like what were my ancestors? Like, I never knew I was part German. Who knew? And, I should have known, because my mom liked, for snacks, pretzels and mustard and cucumbers and vinegar. It's like, well, that should have been a clue to me right there. But because we aren't rooted in the past, we have the freedom to reach out and to explore new territories, because we're not being held down. So there's positives and negatives to it. So we know that there's many positive things about the United States, and there's also many problems to be solved. For one, income inequality. Apparently, the United States has one of the highest levels of income inequality in the developed world. And this means that a small number of people have a lot of wealth, while the majority of people have very little. We see it everywhere. We see it in our city with the homelessness and all the things that are happening. Gun violence, The United States has a gun violence problem that's worse than any other developed country. Political polarization is another problem that we're having. So it's harder for both sides to have civil conversations about important issues, and this makes it difficult to solve problems, and it also creates gridlock. So we're moving into the 4th of July, and so one of my questions to you this morning is, what are your feelings about the 4th of July? Some of us love it and can't wait to get out there and celebrate, and others like, I don't know, not so much. So I'm going to do this very quickly, but if you would just turn to somebody that hopefully that you don't know, but if you're not comfortable doing that, then with somebody you know. And if nobody's forced to do anything, so if you'd rather not, just be quiet, and that's fine. But here's my question to you right now, and that is, what are your feelings about the 4th of July, and how do you celebrate it? And is it different than it was when you were a kid? So we're just going to have 5 minutes. Turn to somebody and find them. So if you would just finish, you can always finish this conversation upstairs later, but we're going to have more. So if you're not finished, and you might even want to stay where you are to continue this. So Charlie and Therese are hosting our food or our food and beverage upstairs following the service. So just FYI, you can always go on up there and have a snack. So who is really into celebrating the 4th of July, where it's really exciting and you're looking forward to it? Who not so much? Oi, oi, oi. Mixed. Yeah, so I mean, that's an interesting thing because this is our country's birthday, right? This is our celebration. And so it raises the question, like, what needs to change? What needs to happen so that we welcome this day and celebrate it or honor it in some way? My daughter went to a festival in Europe. They have it every year, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's electronic music, so there's no band. And you're divided into countries, and it was so much fun before she left because you had to wear your flag. You had to. It was part of the thing. And I remember shopping with her, and she found these, like scarves, that she would wear. And she said everybody had their, all over their tents because they camped together. But it was the world coming together and dancing. That was like the whole purpose of this festival. If anybody remembers the name of it, please shout it out. EDM, it's EDM music, but I forget what the name of the festival is called. It happens every year, and they move it through Europe. So anyway, there's different ways that we honor this. I also want to then move into our own homes, right? And particularly the home that we were raised in. And I know that some of us moved a lot, some of us stayed in the same place, but what are your feelings of your home, and how did it shape you? How did it lay a foundation for you, or did it lay a foundation for you at all? So many of you know I was raised in Chicago in the same house for 20 years, and my home was chaotic. It was crazy, but I had the best neighborhood that I could have asked for. And so I had so much freedom, and I was able to go outside, particularly in the summer, and play with all the kids. And I had a parameter, like I wasn't allowed to cross the busy street, but if I stayed within a certain block, I was fine. And what it did is that was my foundation. That was what held me. That's what grounded me in a home that was chaotic. And then when I was 12, I learned how to ride the buses and the L trains, and I was able to go to the beach, I was able to go downtown, and I was able to explore, for me, a wonderful city. But it laid a foundation for me of home. And, many of you know I received an award from Unity Village this last week. And the ceremony took place on Monday, 11 a.m. Seattle time, and then my flight was canceled the night before, so I couldn't go to the whole thing, so we're going to do something later. But I have been asked, and that was part of the talk that I was going to give to the rest of the body, was how have you stayed in a ministry for 33 years when the average minister lasts 2 to 5? And the truth is, my kids, because my parents, not on purpose, but they gave me the gift of place. I have my gift of place, which is Chicago. And I wanted to give that gift to my kids. So I wanted to do whatever I could to stay in Seattle so that my daughter's here, my son is not, but they have that sense of place. And for me, that was a great gift. And that was the motivating factor in that ability to root in. So home keeps also shifting and changing, right? Because one of the questions is, how do you find that place in home? And we're going to go to that a bit later in the talk. But because homes go away. I went home and they tore my house down. Wrigley Field doesn't even look the same to me. It's all changed. And I wonder how it is for refugees who leave a war-torn country and can't go back, and things are so different and blown up. So here's my question, my second question to you, and that is, what is your place? What is your home? And I'm thinking about like when you grew up, and how did it lay a foundation for you? How did it define you? How did it help you? What was good about it? Even if it was chaotic, what was good about it? What did you learn from it? So if you would, you can go back to the same person or not. But so where did you grow up? How did it lay a good foundation for you? What did you like about it? How has it defined you? Writing. If you would begin to wrap up your conversation, finishing it upstairs, thanking your partner, and coming back to your seat. So I know that wasn't a lot of time to kind of excavate your whole life and your childhood and your place of home, but I think it's something that's important to reflect on. Where did we come from? What was that foundation that was laid for us, and how does it support us even now? I know for me, I've already shared that the soul is really the true coming home, and it's important to figure out what is that for you. How do you align your soul with yourself? Is it a place? Is it an activity? Is it singing? Is it chanting? What aligns your soul with yourself? And again, for me, many times it's just going back to Chicago so I can hear the accent, and so that, I can look at people and they get my sense of humor. And when you go home and your house is torn down that you grew up in, then you're a little like, oh, wait a minute. Or if you moved a lot, it's like, oh, wait a minute. And so the truth is then that the home is more than just this physical space. But it's also important to figure out what is that for you that brings you into alignment. I just spent 2 days at a convent in Lacey because I just needed silence. And the nuns are great at silence. In fact, I started talking to one, and she goes, no. Like, okay. So Thich Nhat Hanh said, our true home is life. Our true home is the present moment. Whatever is happening right here and right now. So this is home. Wherever you are, it is home. And Michael pointed out to me this week as we were rearranging the chairs, he says, home is in home. And I'm like, yes, it is. I think that we need to bring that forward. And one of the ways of coming into the present moment is to chant together, is to be in silence together. And Om is the sound of the universe. The symbol and the meaning is this vibrational sound of the force behind all creation and manifests as Brahman or God, the absolute and ultimate reality. So chanting Om invokes the sound of creation within the universe and the supreme soul or supreme deity. Repeating Om can help the practitioner gain awareness and consciousness beyond space and time. In other words, Om can take you home. So, in our closing, I'd like, because another reason that we're in this configuration is so that we can hear each other. So I'd like to do just kind of a rolling Om, so that when your Om ends, I want you to start it again. And when it ends, I want you to start it again. And we're going to do it just for a couple of minutes. And hopefully it takes you to a place that is centered in yourself. So the way to prepare for that is to have your feet firmly planted on the floor and sitting up straight. And then taking a deep breath. Om. Find your own tone, find your own pace, find your own breath. When it ends, begin it again. Om. Feel the vibration within you and all around you. There is no place like home. Home is where we go to recharge, to rest, to be nurtured and to nurture. It is the foundation from which we replenish in order to engage with the world. Home goes beyond the physical space. Our true home is life. Our true home is the present moment. And so just as Dorothy realized she had the power to go home all along, so we too have the power to go home within ourselves and within our souls. And it is for this awareness that we are truly grateful. And we do affirm this in the name and through the power of the living Spirit of truth, and it is so. Amen. So thank you for your willingness to mix it up a little this morning. Thank you for stepping outside your comfort zone. If you made a new friend, that's wonderful. And again, it continues upstairs. So I invite you now, as our ushers come around, to give generously to this moment. So I invite you to take your gift in your hands. If you give electronically, please hold one of these cards in your hand so that you can bless it with your love and your energy. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California up to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. I tell you, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking down that Ribbentrop Highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land is your land. This land is my land. From Riverside, California, down to the Woodbine Island, Augusta, Georgia, down to Philadelphia, and don't forget Tacoma, oh, and don't forget Ballard. I wanna tell you that this land was made for you and me.
Stephanie Ann Johnson, thank you for being here today.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the chaplains to come stand with me as we do our closing prayers. And I want to, let's see, I've got things all over the place. So I want to welcome and acknowledge those watching from Bainbridge, Greenwood, Mount Lake Terrace, Bellevue, Normandy Park, Federal Way, Renton, West Lynn, hi Louise, Auburn, Greenwood, Edmonds, and Southworth. So we want to welcome them. And before we do our prayers, Louis has an announcement about his pranic healing.
Good morning. There is a workshop we do on the first Monday of each month down in the Children's area. It's called Pranic Healing. Pranic is a Sanskrit word which means life force. In essence, what we do, we clean up those spiritual centers as a non-touch technique, and we allow you to become more energized, allow you to take the stress out of your body. And again, on Monday, we have a little series of little small exercises. We do a short meditation, 20 minutes, and then we pair you up with a pranic healer to work on those centers, those spiritual centers like Charles Fillmore talked about. And hopefully when you leave around about 9 o'clock, you'll be all alive and relax. So please, if you can, join me tomorrow at 7 o'clock from 7 to 9 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis.
Thanks, Louis. All right, so let's take a moment to hold in our prayers. And I have some sad news that we need to bless, a person we need to bless. Diane Chase made her transition yesterday. You may remember she always had the beautiful hats. She was always had a beautiful hat. So let's take a minute of silence as we bless her on her journey. And so, Diane, we love you and we bless you. And we are so grateful for the love that you have given. And so we see you as you are right now, and that is as a spiritual being. And so just in your mind's heart, whether you knew her or not, I invite you to hold her in your heart for a moment. And so we go on in our prayers to bless Anne and Michael, Sue, Joanne and Danny, Samantha and Steve, Ellen and Louise. We take a moment to bless Tammy as she settles into a feeling of home after her move to Washington. We hold and we bless Patricia for divine order manifesting in her life, for Cam, Therese, and Dale for healing and well-being, and for Evan's healing and strength. If anyone else has come to your minds, please speak their names now. And so we join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
sing a closing song together. And if you think you might want to sing up here, or just stand next to us as we sing and you pretend to sing, however I can get you up here, baby. Right after this service, I'll be staying in the room. You can come and talk to me and say, like, hey, I think I might want to sing. Or I'm also just here. So if you have any kind of suggestion or idea about services, even if it's a pet peeve of like, I don't like it when this thing is this way, I'm here so that you can tell me those sorts of things. You don't have to tell your neighbor. You can tell me right now, and I will try and do my best to fix it for you. So I'll be here right after the service for about 45 minutes. Join me then. Here we go. All is well. All is well.